Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, about a month ago, we did a video about UPS and some new policies that they had implemented as it related to shipping firearms and firearm components. And it had many of you really worked up in a tissy fit, and for good reason. Well, come to find out, it appears that things are getting a lot worse over at Big Brown. So I think today we need to have a very frank and candid discussion about when Brown goes from bad to worse, the privatization of tyranny. Okay, so the issue we're talking about today is UPS. Now, United Parcel Service. As we recall, UPS sent some very threatening letters to some major firearms manufacturers, retail operations, things like that, including very reputable companies such as Brownells, where they essentially said that they were canceling their accounts. Now, they also sent some pretty nasty letters to a company called Ghost Firearms out of, I believe, Florida, where they basically were enforcing ATF regulations which had not been published and actually enforcing ATF regulations which were never published. Well, in kind of a big old middle finger to the consumers, UPS is stepping up its anti-Second Amendment game and has implemented a whole new series of policies which anybody who's shipping through UPS must comply with. Now, the new policy is 6 pages long, and I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but the devilish part lies in Section 12, and I think you need to pay careful attention to what UPS is saying to people who want to ship firearms and firearm components through them as a carrier, because check this out. This is what this policy now requires. Shipper Compliance Program 12.1. Shipper will develop, implement, and maintain a compliance program, shipper compliance program, as necessary to ensure that shipper and its consignees are compliant with all laws, rules, and regulations that apply to the sale, purchase, shipment, transportation, delivery, receipt, transfer, possession, and distribution of firearm products. The shipper compliance program will include 1. Training for sales and marketing employees regarding lawful recipients, possessors, and purchaser of firearm products. 2. Due diligence regarding customer licensure and authorization to receive, possess, and purchase firearm products under applicable federal, state, or local law. And 3. Self-assessments of the shipper compliance program to guarantee its effectiveness. You're reading that right. This is what UPS is demanding of these companies in order for them to do business with UPS. But if you think that's crazy, check out what they require in the next section. 12.2. Shipper will supply such evidence as UPS may request in its sole and unlimited discretion relating to shipper's compliance with all applicable laws, rules, and regulations. Within 5 business days of such request, shipper will supply order information, for example, invoice, packing list, and any other relevant documentation to demonstrate contents of specific packages, tracking numbers, identified by UPS. UPS may audit shipper at any time and for any reason. The scope of audits of shipper may include, but are not limited to, opening and inspecting shipper's shipments, examination and review of shipper's books and records relevant to firearm product shipments, and auditing the shipper compliance program. It's almost as if you are doing business in 1939 Germany, because that is what UPS is requiring. They are mandating that all of these companies employ programs, which they very well may have. They're dictating to these companies how they have to run their business. And then, in order for the privilege to do business with UPS, after you develop this mandated program of theirs, they have the right at any time, for any reason, to request any records, anytime, anywhere, any place within 5 business days, and to be able to inspect all of your packaging, or to give you a list of specific tracking numbers, and they will have to come up with the data on it right away. This is what UPS is requiring of those in the Second Amendment community. Now, first of all, the question that we all ask ourselves is, what the hell gives UPS the right to do this? Well, they do have the right to run their business however they wish. This is America. I'm a huge believer in personal freedoms. I'm a huge believer in corporate freedoms. UPS absolutely has the right to run their business this way. However, we as consumers in the Second Amendment community have the right to choose not to do business with UPS anymore. But the other concerning thing, especially when we begin to see what we're now referring to as the privatization of tyranny, and this is essentially this phenomena that's occurring where those in the gun-grabbing left cannot find enough effective ways to disarm the American citizens because that pesky little thing called the Constitution, those pests over in the Supreme Court, keep getting in the way of being able to unconstitutionally disarm the American citizenry. What these folks on the political left are doing now are employing private entities and private industry to do that for them. We see this in social media. We see this in mainstream media. We're beginning to see it in shipping. We're beginning to see it in banking and the credit card industry as well. But then here's another concern. With this anti-Second Amendment sentiment and the fact that UPS is essentially doing the government's dirty work, what do we think that UPS is going to do with all of this data? Do we think that they will only compile it, ensure compliance with the program, and then immediately purge their systems of that data, destroy it so it can never, ever be seen by anybody again? Are we really that foolish to think that UPS, who has absolutely no regards for your Second Amendment rights, would have any regards for your First Amendment right of privacy? No, this data will absolutely, positively, and without a doubt be shared with government agencies. So listen, these are the new policies that I want you to be aware of because we need to take a very long and hard look about whether any of us in the 2A community should ever be doing business with UPS again. This is an alarming trend that we are seeing on a nationwide level now where those that want to disarm American citizens are using private industry, private businesses to do the dirty work that the Constitution will not allow them to do. Do they have the right to conduct their business this way? Yes, they do. Do we have the right to not do business with them? We most certainly do, and that is exactly the right that we should exercise. Listen, in the meantime, you may have more questions about UPS or anything else related to your Second Amendment rights, and if you do, remember, you can always contact us at WashingtonGunLaw.com, or you can call us directly at 425-765-0487. Now, let's remember, part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here at Washington Gun Law, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe.